Well, the local pastor convicted of raping girls in his own congregation agrees to speak with News 3 about the case. What he had to say from behind bars.
Also, danger on the job. Convenience store clerks speaking out about the recent violent streak and what they're doing to fight against crooks, some as young as 13.
And then extreme summer heat continues to beat down on southern Nevada. Big question, could we really be getting that break from the triple digits anytime soon?
News 3 starts right now.
The pastor convicted of raping children in his own congregation, only speaking out to News 3 tonight.
Well, it's not over for Otis Holland. He now faces similar charges in a new case in Henderson. Thanks for joining us. I'm Reed Cowan.
And I'm Marie Mortera. Holland claims a trial against him was unfair, calling the case a lynching. He had much more to say with our Sergio Avila in this exclusive interview.
This was Otis Holland Monday morning prior to his sentencing hearing that ended up being postponed. Holland was convicted of raping children in his congregation in January. A new but similar case is also building against him in Henderson.
The anchor. No contact order? The blue shirt on.
On Monday, I was indeed wearing a blue shirt. Holland went on to ask the marshal if he could speak to the media.
I was trying to get a hold of the news.
He even asked the judge for permission during the hearing.
Would I be able to speak with the media?
So I put in a request to speak to him through the video call system from jail. Late Tuesday, I was told Holland agreed. Wednesday morning, we sat down at a monitor waiting for him to arrive. A corrections officer picked up the phone.
Mr. Holland is getting ready as we speak. He takes his time. He wants to look just so.
When Holland showed up, he promptly instructed us not to photograph him.
I was not given notice that the media would be here, so I'm not prepared.
He had a lot to say about what he says was a wrongful conviction in his first case, which he attributes to a troubled defense. But in the end, nearly all of our interview he wanted kept off camera except for this.
My name is Otis Holland. I do want to have an interview with the media, and I believe the media would love to have an interview with me, but I would like to be given proper notice so I can be prepared with my attorney.
Holland went on to tell us he will need a few days to get his notes in order before he can address what he says was an unfair trial for which he's already been convicted and now faces a new trial on similar accusations. Because Holland got a new attorney for his sentencing and his subsequent appeal, the sentencing in this case he was just convicted of has been delayed. Sergio Avila, News 3.
A sad anniversary today as we mark 2 years since the ambush killings of Officer Alan Beck and Igor Saldo. Metro's Northeast Area Command held a memorial for family members and fellow officers. It was this day in 2014 when Saldo and Beck were shot and killed while on their lunch break at a pizza parlor. They were shot by a husband and wife with an anti-government agenda.
Alan and Igor were true warriors. They wouldn't want us to give up. They'd want us to continue the fight. They'd want us to continue to catch everybody and do what was right.
A civilian was also killed in the attack. Joseph Wilcox was legally armed and died when he tried to stop the shooting. Today, a wreath was placed near a tree planted in memory of the victims.
People from all over the country waited in line for tickets today to say goodbye to their favorite legend, Muhammad Ali. Free tickets distributed today for the memorial service at the KFC Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Officers allowed the official line to form just before 6 this morning, and within an hour, the line stretched several blocks. The public memorial service for the champ will be held at this arena Friday afternoon.
Another 7-Eleven convenience store robbed across the Las Vegas Valley, adding to a troubling trend we've seen in recent weeks.
Police say in this case, 2 teenage girls held up a 60-year-old clerk at knife point. News 3's Antonio Castellan shows us the fear now circulating among local clerks.
The clerk who works here says she's sick of the attacks on convenience store workers. She fears for her safety. This violence has really hit home for her after this convenience store was robbed last night.
I feel that it's wrong, that we shouldn't be attacked like that. We're only doing our job.
The 7-Eleven store clerk is speaking out on the recent wave of violence against convenience store employees. This 12-year 7-Eleven veteran did not want to share her name for fear of possible retribution from criminals.
A lot of things happening. Chip runs, beer runs, all that kind of stuff, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Just last night, Metro Police say 2 teenage girls robbed the 7-Eleven on Pecos and Washington. The teens pulled out a knife and demanded money from a 60-year-old store clerk. The thieves made off with cash and merchandise. One 13-year-old girl was arrested. This store clerk works there and knows the woman who was threatened.
She is my friend, so I am going to check on her and make sure she's all right.
Robberies like this have been occurring with more frequency in the valley. Last Sunday morning, a 7-Eleven store clerk at Sahara and Lamb was shot in the head. Police say the robbers involved left with only $26. The violence certainly has shaken this clerk. Do you fear for your life?
Do I? I do sometimes, I honestly do. But I try not to worry about that.
This clerk says it's important for her co-workers to be ready for the worst.
Carrying mace to protect ourselves if need be. I think everybody should carry that.
This longtime store clerk hopes the violence against convenience store workers ends.
Makes me double think about life and, life with my kids.
We are told the 60-year-old worker who was attacked last night is doing better. If anyone has any information on the whereabouts of that robber, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 702-385-5555. Reporting from Washington and Pecos, Antonio Castellan, News 3.
Antonio, thanks for that report. And now is a good time to talk about this. June is National Safety Awareness Month. So Metro is asking gun owners to be safe and to stay educated when it comes to having a weapon in your house. Officers say always assume a firearm is loaded and always keep your finger off that trigger. They also stress to owners to always keep the gun unloaded until ready to use and always be sure what your target is and what's around your target. A non-lethal fire range in the valley is giving gun owners a new way to learn how to handle their weapons safely, including interactive ways on how to handle a home intruder.
And we have breaking news to tell you about. Crews battling a raging wildfire right now in Yarnell, Arizona. That's between Kingman and Phoenix. Fire crews have evacuated homes in the area as the flames are moving quickly and have already charred over 100 acres so far. As you can see in these live images, the firefight continues through the evening. The Red Cross says it is opening an evacuation center at a nearby community college. No report of any injuries so far or what may have started this fire. However, this was the same site of one of the deadliest incidents for wildland firefighters. In 2013, a massive fire took the lives of 19 hotshot firefighters. And back here in Las Vegas, the extreme heat continues to take over, but we could be getting a break from the triple digits soon.
News 3 is your weather authority, and Chloe Beardsley is here to show us the temperatures that are coming our way.
Yes, I'm really stoked to say we've got double digits in the forecast. It's still pretty warm outside right now under partly cloudy skies in Las Vegas. Earlier today, we maxed out at 109 degrees. You can see well above our normal temperature for this time of year. And over the next few days, we're going to see slightly more comfortable temperatures. I guess that's the best way to put it. Look at highs around the valley, 110 for Sunrise as well as Henderson, downtown. We're talking very hot temperatures all across the area. Outside right now, we're still in the triple digits for most neighborhoods. You can see winds. It is a little bit breezy outside, mostly on the edges of town with winds just out of the southwest. You can see a look at the peak gusts so far, 20 and 30 mile an hour winds outside the valley so far. We're looking at temperatures at 105 degrees for Overton, 101 for Pahrump. It's also been a breezy day outside the valley as well. You can see some of the peak wind gusts from earlier this afternoon. The excessive heat warning is going to expire tonight at 8 p.m., but that doesn't mean we're not going to see the warm weather continue tomorrow. It's just not going to be as hot as it was today. We're going to get a little bit of a break from those very roasty temperatures as low pressure moves through the area, kicking up our wind speeds and bringing us down to the double digits. I'll tell you how cool we're expecting it to get, in quotes, and that will be coming up in the full weather segment. Reed and Marie.
Chloe, thanks. Those high temperatures have led to another warning from Clark County, and tonight it's about the air quality.
Yeah, people with respiratory problems are now being told to stay indoors. News 3's Denise Roche has more on the ozone alert.
We think we have it bad here. It's over 140 sometimes.
Danny McCracken knows it's the little things that can make a difference to troops serving overseas.
I look at a wide variety of things, but I think that this is stuff that they really, really need.
As a director of sales for Mary Kay Cosmetics, she's sending sunscreen and lip protectant to our men and women in Afghanistan, collecting donations to cover the cost of each $25 care package. Operation Sunscreen, as it's called, has been going strong for 4 years.
It is kind of a pampering item, and then we also throw in little love notes to them, so from the different sponsors that we get.
Closer to home, triple-digit temperatures have southern Nevadans heading to splash pads.
It's only bearable for like a few hours, then we have to get out of here.
But for some, it's not just uncomfortable. For the third day in a row, Clark County Air Quality has issued an ozone alert, a potential problem for people who suffer from respiratory issues.
Ozone is essentially like baking a pollution cake.
Russell Roberts is an air quality specialist.
Ozone up in the stratosphere is a very important part of the biosphere. It filters out harmful UV radiation. Down here where we live and breathe, it's an irritant.
This is one of about a dozen air quality monitoring sites in Clark County, picking up unhealthy levels of ozone near Tenaya and Azure. Roberts says as temperatures drop later in the week, the numbers should go down. Until then, he says it's a good idea to limit your outdoor activity.
If you want to go for a walk, probably do that early in the morning or early or later in the evening when the sun's down, temperatures are cooler.
And as for Operation Sunscreen, you can contact your local Mary Kay rep to get more information about that, or if you do not have one, we've set up a link. Just go to our website, news3lv.com. Denise Rosh, News 3.
This fall, the Las Vegas Strip will say goodbye to one of its longest running shows. We're talking about the Jersey Boys. It will close its curtains at the Paris September 18th, ending an 8-year run on the Strip. Officials did not say why the show is leaving. The show debuted at the Palazzo in 2008 before moving to Paris in 2014. Those who bought tickets for shows after September 18th can get a refund or exchange them for an earlier date.
We will miss them on the Strip. Such a great show. Well, a man tries to kidnap a 13-year-old girl from a store. It happened in front of her mother.
I'll tell you how the suspect was quickly cut off before he could make his getaway.
So disturbing. Frightening moments on board a school bus when it stalls in front of an oncoming semi-truck. How a field trip quickly turned disastrous, and an update on the young voices you heard in that video.